Kollengode, a small town nestled in the heart of Kerala. Palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, their emerald fronds whispered tales of a simpler time. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and marigold. It was a place where life moved at a slower pace. Tradition and modernity coexisted in perfect harmony. Kollengode was known for its vibrant culture. Its ancient temples stood as testaments to a rich spiritual heritage. The rhythmic chants of priests filled the air during festivals. They were a reminder of the divine presence that permeated every aspect of life. People gathered to celebrate their faith. They shared stories and strengthened the bonds that held their community together. The town was surrounded by lush green paddy fields. They stretched as far as the eye could see. The land was fertile. It provided sustenance and livelihood to generations of farmers. It was a place where nature's bounty was celebrated. It was a place where life was intertwined with the rhythms of the earth. Vikram and Vinay were brothers. They lived in this idyllic town. They were as different as the sun and the moon. Vikram, the elder, was a man of few words. He was hard-working and practical. Vinay, the younger, was known for his cheerful disposition and his love for music. Despite their differences, they shared an unbreakable bond. They had been inseparable since childhood. They played together in the paddy fields. They shared their dreams under the starlit sky. Their laughter echoed through the narrow streets of Kollengode. It brought joy to all who heard it. Their family had lived in Kollengode for generations. They were farmers, tilling the land and reaping its bounty. Their ancestors had instilled in them the values of hard work, honesty, and compassion. These values were deeply ingrained in their hearts. They guided their actions and shaped their destinies. Their father, a wise old man, had passed away a few years ago. He left behind a legacy of love and a small piece of land. The land had been in their family for generations. It was their only source of income. It represented their roots and their heritage. The brothers knew that they had to divide the land between themselves. They had to do it to secure their future and provide for their families. But the thought of dividing their ancestral property filled them with a sense of unease. This land was more than just a piece of earth. It was a symbol of their family's unity and their shared history. They decided to divide the land fairly. They wanted to honor their father's memory. They knew he would want them to remain united. They sat down together. They carefully measured the land. They made sure that each brother received an equal share. It was a difficult decision, but they knew it was the right thing to do. Vikram's portion of the land was fertile and yielded a bountiful harvest. Vinay's portion, however, was less productive. It was located on a slight slope. It received less water. Vinay worked tirelessly. He tried to improve the yield, but his efforts seemed to be in vain. Vikram noticed his brother's struggles. He felt a pang of sympathy for Vinay. He remembered their childhood. He remembered how they had always shared everything. He couldn't bear to see his brother struggling. He decided to help. One night, under the cloak of darkness, Vikram went to his brother's field. He carried with him a sack of rice from his own harvest. He quietly placed it near Vinay's hut. He returned home, his heart filled with a sense of satisfaction. He had done what he believed was right. Days turned into weeks. Vikram continued to secretly help his brother. He would often sneak into Vinay's field at night, leaving behind a portion of his own harvest. He never sought any acknowledgement, never expected anything in return. He was driven by the pure and selfless love he felt for his brother. One day, Vikram noticed something strange. He had left a sack of rice near Vinay's hut the previous night, but the sack was still there, untouched. He was puzzled. He couldn't understand why Vinay hadn't taken the rice. Had Vinay discovered his secret? Was he angry with him? He decided to confront Vinay. That evening, he went to his brother's house. He found Vinay singing softly to himself as he prepared dinner. Vinay's face lit up when he saw his brother and welcomed him with a warm embrace. Vikram hesitated for a moment, unsure how to broach the subject. He decided to be direct. "Vinay," Vikram began, his voice filled with concern, "I noticed that you haven't touched the rice I left for you. Is everything all right?" Vinay looked at his brother, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Vikram," he replied, "I know what you've been doing for me. I've known it all along." Vikram was taken aback. He had been so careful, so sure that his actions had gone unnoticed. "How did you know?" he asked. "It doesn't matter," Vinay said softly. What matters is that you were willing to sacrifice your own comfort for me. Your actions speak volumes about the kind of brother you are. Vikram's heart melted. He realized that his secret was safe with Vinay. His brother understood and appreciated his gesture. "But why didn't you take the rice?" Vikram asked, still puzzled. Vinay smiled. "Because I've been doing the same for you," he replied. Vikram was stunned. He couldn't believe his ears. "What do you mean?" he asked. "Every night," Vinay explained, "I've been taking a portion of my harvest and adding it to yours. Your land is more fertile. I wanted to make sure that you wouldn't notice anything amiss." The brothers stood there for a moment, their eyes locked in a silent understanding. They had both been trying to help each other in their own quiet ways. They had both been driven by the same selfless love and compassion. Section 8, the revelation. A wave of emotion washed over Vikram. He felt a mixture of shame, gratitude, and overwhelming love for his brother. He had been so focused on his own actions. He had failed to see the sacrifices that Vinay had been making. They embraced each other tightly. Tears of joy streamed down their faces. In that moment, all the misunderstandings, all the unspoken words melted away. They were left with the pure and unbreakable bond that had always united them. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the paddy fields, Vikram and Vinay walked back home together. They walked slowly, their shoulders brushing against each other. Their hearts were filled with a profound sense of peace and contentment. Section 9, Lessons in Compassion. The story of Vikram and Vinay is a testament to the enduring power of family, love and compassion. It highlights the importance of putting the needs of others before our own. It reminds us that true happiness lies in giving, in sharing, and in caring for those we love. In a world that often celebrates individualism and self-promotion, the story of these two brothers serves as a beacon of hope. It reminds us that there is another way to live. There is a way to live that is based on empathy, generosity, and a deep understanding of our interconnectedness. The brothers' actions were not driven by a sense of duty or obligation. They were driven by something much deeper. They were driven by the love and compassion that had been instilled in them since childhood. They had learned from their parents that true happiness comes from giving, not from receiving. Section 10. Echoes of Ancient Wisdom. Their story resonates with the teachings of ancient scriptures. The Srimad Bhagavatam, a sacred Hindu text, emphasizes the importance of compassion as a pathway to spiritual enlightenment. It states that compassion is the root of all dharma, righteousness. The Bhagavad Gita, another revered scripture, teaches that true happiness is found in selfless action. It encourages individuals to perform their duties without attachment to the fruits of their labor. Vikram and Vinay's actions exemplified these teachings. They acted selflessly. They sought no reward or recognition for their actions. Their story is a reminder that the values of compassion, selflessness, and love are not just abstract concepts. They are practical principles that can guide our lives. They can lead us to a place of true happiness and fulfillment. Section 11, the true measure of happiness. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to get caught up in the pursuit of material possessions and personal gain. We often forget the importance of nurturing our relationships. We forget the importance of giving back to our communities. The story of Vikram and Vinay serves as a powerful reminder that true happiness is not found in what we have. True happiness is found in who we are. It is found in the love that we share. It is found in the difference that we make in the lives of others. Let us all strive to live our lives with the same spirit of compassion and selflessness that Vikram and Vinay embodied. Let us make the world a better place. Let us start by extending a helping hand to those in need. Let us do it with a kind word. Let us do it with a generous heart. In doing so, we will not only enrich the lives of others, but we will also discover the true meaning of happiness.